Protests over what happened in Baltimore spreading this week to New York, Boston, San Diego, Washington, D.C., and Iran. The Ayatollah tweeting, quote, U.S. police kill people over any excuse. This type of power does not ensure security, but leads to insecurity. Hashtag Baltimore. Now, Steve, you say it's time we sink these nuke negotiations.
Yeah, Liz, they're simply a dangerous farce. There's going to have more loopholes than the proverbial Swiss cheese. They are out to build those nuclear weapons, and they will, and Obama doesn't seem to be too upset by it. As for the Strait of Hormuz, what you have there is Iran trying to be the big power in the Middle East to control, ultimately, Saudi oil fields. If they do anything in the shipment of oil, that is an act of war, even if Obama doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, Bruce, getting back to the Ayatollah's tweet, I mean, Amnesty International, a number of human rights officials have said Iran, has public executions for adultery, apostasy, and drug-related charges. I mean, let's face it, that tweet was lit out of line. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. It's not, it doesn't, we don't, some of the things coming out of Iran are certainly troubling, but we still have, several nations with us at the bargaining table here, and I don't think we can pull away from that. And getting out of negotiations, the more dire scenario of sending troops over there and our young people is just not an option in my book.
Sabrina, you think we should stop the nuclear negotiations with Iran right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And this recent, incident where we see that before we've even really gotten through the first round of negotiations, Iran is, taking shots. I think that we're finding that it's leaving us looking weak, looking feckless. We look incompetent. It's absolutely time that we take this seriously, that we draw a line in the sand and stick to it and say no more.
Mike, here's the thing. I mean, the sanctions were meant for, I think, to stop this theocratic regime from really brutalizing its people in other countries. I mean, you have runaway joblessness, runaway inflation in the economy of Iran that people really don't talk about. And that was due to the economic sanctions. You could have had real democratic change there if the sanctions were still in place.
Absolutely, Liz. And the irony, of course, is that it took the leader of Iran to call out Obama on his lie about how the sanctions and when they'd be lifted. Obama had said they'd be lifted gradually, and then the leader of Iran came and said, no, that wasn't the deal, and then Obama backtracked. I think the big danger here, too, is also the fact that Obama is cutting back on our military at the precise time that danger is increasing there. That bodes very badly for the United States and our allies in the Middle East.
Yeah, to Mike's point, Rich, about the sanctions, already 20 countries do not have to abide by the economic sanctions right now. They include China, South Korea, Turkey, and India. I mean, they're leaky already, Rich. So should we just walk away from this nuke deal?
We should walk away, and I think the supreme leader and plus the Iranian military is giving us ample reason to do so. So in a strange way, I think they're doing us a favor here in the United States by revealing exactly who they are, and that is that they are not trustworthy. They'll lie in a heartbeat, and we should walk away.
Bill, we've had now increased military tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. Do you think we should, basically, Iran being really aggressive, do you think we should walk away?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the mullahs are trying to do here. Are they acting like unruly children trying to get caught? I mean, here they are on the verge of getting what they want, which is this historic snookering of the Obama administration with that nuke deal, and they're screwing it all up by seizing ships. It's insane.
Steve, getting back to the Strait of Hormuz, it is a really significant oil delivery choke point for the world economy. But, Iran's oil fields are really rickety, arthritic. The oil output is cut in half since 1974. Isn't that really the end game here? Iran needs those sanctions lifted in order to get its oil fields up and running, to get more money in, so it could be even more aggressive in the region.
Well, they figure that if they get control of Saudi oil through their proxies, not to mention Kuwait and Iraq's oil, that they'll be able to flout the sanctions because the world needs that oil. So that's the game they're playing. That's the game Russia's playing. They have this old mercantilist mentality. They control the resources. They control the world. And that's the danger, this mode of the way they're seeing this world. And that's the danger of the Straits of Hormuz, not just the shipment of oil, but the fact they think they control most of the world's output, or a big part of it.
Now, Bruce, I want you to weigh in on Steve's recent column. And since he's the boss, I know you're going to have to say nice things about it. But, what Steve was basically saying.
Bruce is far away.
Bruce is far away. That's right. We'll be shooting shots at him over the Strait of the, Middle America. Bruce, but Steve was saying is that essentially Saudi Arabia is now surrounded, right? They have this Iran acting up in Yemen, you have them acting up in their neck of the world, and now the Strait of Hormuz. How do you see this playing out for what happens to our gas prices?
Well, I think right now we're awash in oil. So it seems to me to be a good time to have diplomacy and remember what this was all about, trying to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear bomb. And so a lot of people think that the only reason that we ever put military troops over there anyway is because of oil. So now that we are awash in oil, I think it's a good time for diplomacy to at least disarm them. And we've also, I think, come too far in the negotiations.
Bill, do you think we should walk away?
We definitely should walk away, and I think we have to think about what's going to happen when they seize another ship. It might be easy now to get even, but what if they had a nuclear bomb?
Yeah, that's interesting. No, good God. All right, next up, the Cashing In Gang, ready to roll at the bottom of the hour. Eric, what do you got?
Hey, Lizzie, some liberals blaming the media and the cops for the blow-up in Baltimore, but is their liberal agenda the real problem? Plus, Dr. Phil is right here on Cashing In, why he says more Americans are joining ISIS and turning into homegrown terrorists. See you at 11:30.
Thanks, Eric. We will be watching, but up here first, Democrats backing a new bill mandating a $12 minimum wage. But if they get their way, will all workers have to pay?